Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Duchess Meghan was featured on June's Polo Life magazine amongst 15 women who need more introduction. Title: Women in Power. The list includes powerful women such as First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, former First Lady Hillary Clinton, of course Oprah Winfrey, and Duchess Meghan. People magazine recently did a spread about how Prince Harry's Invictus Games are transforming the lives of veterans worldwide. It includes a brief synopsis of the work that the Invictus Games has done over the past 10 years and quotes from different veterans and former Invictus Games competitors. Retired Chief Master Sergeant Kawanda, who recently competed for Team USA at the Invictus Games in Germany, says that Prince Harry is a veteran, and like all vets, we get together, we talk, we laugh, joke, and tease each other. He's just like one of the guys. Retired U.S. Army Captain Will Reynolds said it's a deeply personal cause for him. He makes himself really accessible to all the competitors. Former Army Staff Sergeant Kelly Cooper says that the Invictus Games are really important. They're really making a difference in people's lives. And Gabe, you guys remember Gabe, right? He was a part of Team US for the Invictus Games, also a part of the Heart of Invictus documentary on Netflix. And if you haven't seen it, definitely recommend that you check it out. But Gabe was quoted as saying that every conversation that I've had with him has been just like I'm talking to a friend, a brother. Maybe because of the military connection that we have. My timeline has also included so many different screenshots and videos and photos of a lot of American political and military organizations and how deeply intertwined that they have been. I saw a screenshot from a tweet from the George W. Bush Presidential Center, which shared a symposium that Prince Harry attended with the former president and also with Israel Del Toro. In the last video we talked about Israel. He obviously served in the US military, was a part of the Invictus Games, and came out in defense of Prince Harry's Pat Tillman Award. Also saw videos and photos and quotes from the former United States Secretary of State Colin Powell, sharing his thoughts on Prince Harry's military service and the work that he has done past the end of his military career.
The most prominent example of this is his participation in the Walking with the Wounded program, which helps wounded troops demonstrate their courage and determination as they prepare for a return to civilian life. Prince Harry has shown a remarkable ability to lead by example and demonstrate the importance of using one's experience, talents, and position to benefit one's fellow man. The Atlantic Council recognizes the tremendous commitment Prince Harry brings to his humanitarian endeavors and honors him for the significant impact of his charitable work on behalf of soldiers and their families. In presenting him with the 2012 Distinguished Humanitarian Leadership Award, we know he will continue to be an inspiring example to young people around the world on the importance of service to others. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present to you the recipient of the 2012 Distinguished Humanitarian Leadership Award, His Royal Highness Prince Harry.
We've also seen screenshots of tweets and posts from the Pat Tillman Foundation about Prince Harry dating all the way back to 2013, talking about Prince Harry's South Pole trek and also posting about former Pat Tillman Award winners who have all participated in the Invictus Games. So, as I've said before, Prince Harry's work has been deeply intertwined with some incredible foundations, not just in the UK, but in the US as well, and it has been for years now. And in other Invictus Games news, the Invictus Games Foundation shared via their Instagram stories a special thank you to Wimbledon for hosting members of the Invictus Games Foundation. Recently, Wimbledon collaborated with the Invictus Games Foundation on veterans' employment opportunities. Speaking of Wimbledon, the patron was not present, but her parents were. And under the comment section of this particular post, there's a lot of people who find it odd, irritating, hypocritical that the Middletons can be out and about having a good old time at the Royal Ascot and now at Wimbledon while their creditors are still left hanging. And it's very interesting because 2 points here, right? Both of her daughters are married to billionaires. Yet none of them can help the parents out, that makes absolutely no sense to me, but whatever. Secondly, you're seeing the press completely ignore those facts. Had that been Mama Doria, they would have harped on that point every single day, right? Remember a few months back, there was that non-starter issue with the Archwell Foundation, like the paperwork clerical error with the $200 check, and they rode that wave for weeks. You have the governor of California coming out in defense of it. The Middletons have owed this money since they declared bankruptcy. Not a penny paid. And look at them, just chucking it up, having a good old time. And the press doesn't touch it at all. You cannot tell me there's not an invisible contract. You can't. And I can't help but wonder if this continued fake outrage whenever Harry and Meghan are awarded for the work that they do via the multiple foundations that they operate, the Invictus Foundation, Santa Bali Foundation, the Archwell Foundation, all without a penny from the British taxpayers, right? But they're still continuing to do the work. Further still, the continued awards and accolades from several organizations from the US is particularly vexing for the British press because after all these years of attacks, they still haven't been able to break them and break up their marriage. And in contrast, it makes the royals look out of date, right? People talking about this slimmed down monarchy like it's on Ozempic. And then you don't hear the media focusing on the protests that King Charles and Prince William faced in Edinburgh, right? So your current monarch and your future monarch, who we have been told by years and years of articles and interviews from royal reporters that they are loved, they are beloved, they are popular, and you know they're obsessed with popularity. But you see them in Edinburgh doing the ceremony and protests. The protests have been following just about every big event, right? The coronation, the trooping the color, these ceremonies. There's always the anti-monarchist Republican movement there, never letting them forget with their "Not My King" signs and "Down with the Crown" signs. This article from GB News, which I thought was interesting because, they always have to put a spin. But this one says that the protest group said that residents in Edinburgh have no say in paying for a lavish ceremony for an unelected monarch and are unfairly having to fork over for this visit. Speaking for the Republic Edinburgh local group, Francine Love said the latest Scottish polls show that fewer than half of the people in Scotland support the monarchy. We believe it's time to showcase the democratic alternative to this outdated institution and elected head of state. So you gotta think, all the leaking, all the lies, throwing Harry and Meghan under the bus, all for the sake of PR gains. Where are the gains? I don't see them. If you see them, let me know. Because doing all of that still has not increased the overall popularity of the monarchy and those within it. They're fighting two different battles. Well, three. This one-sided war with Harry and Meghan, which I feel is unfruitful, but that's what they choose to continue to do. So you have that one-sided battle, them determined to cast Harry and Meghan in the role of the perpetual villain. Then you have the Not My King anti-monarchist movement, which is steadily growing. Then you have a younger generation that simply does not care. Right? They're not invested. They're not as dedicated and have this sense of deference to British royals. They think of them as celebrities, pretty much.
What is the point of a king? In the British tradition, the monarchy is the expression of a contract between God and the nation. The monarch is the physical embodiment of that contract. As such, the monarch is the fount of justice, from whom the entire legal system springs, making him or her, the monarch only, not the dynasty, above the law. The monarch is also the fount of honour, and from that source springs the entire British peerage. The monarchy, in a very real sense, underpins and justifies the aristocracy, and together they guard the remnants of a legendary imperial culture which, through arrogance and exploitation as much as technological advancement and aesthetic refinement, produced some of the most glorious architecture, gardens, and civic infrastructure the world has ever known. People arguing for the end of the British monarchy hardly know what a Jenga tower they're attacking at the base. Imagine the intricate network of establishment and commercial interests arrayed against any such rocking of the tower. Prince Harry's plan to gently force modernisation, that is, accountability and active, effective philanthropy, on his family by importing a proactive, highly qualified American was the best. But it failed, and tragically that failure has brought polarisation and a hardening of defences. At this point, the firm seems to have dug itself in behind the fortress of its unprincipled agreement with the media. Just a thought. During the early era of British empire building, and also during its sun never sets heyday in the Victorian era, and also during the 20th century as numerous Commonwealth nations gained their independence and the empire effectively ended, each of these big transitions happened during the long reign of a queen. Truth is, though, in this increasingly secular and informed age, fewer and fewer people see the king as convincingly embodying the fount of honour and justice. Nor does the national fount appear to be flowing terribly well these days anyway. Under successive neoliberal and conservative governments, viciously abetted by a propagandistic media industry, Britain is being mismanaged, perhaps fatally, and the king, constrained by constitutional contract and cowed by Machiavellian media barons, is powerless to intervene. Charles and his family will go down with the ship because, in short, instead of fighting the good fight, defending the people and embodying their ideals, they exiled the only family member with the initiative to get them out of this mess.
And I think that Prince William understands that this years-long campaign, fueled by people within his staff, hasn't really been as successful as they had hoped. Harry and Meghan are doing fine. These manufactured outrages over everything that they say or do really isn't having long-lasting effects. They'll continue to do their work, they'll continue to be honored for it, and they'll continue to be philanthropists outside of the institution, proving that you don't need the institution to be successful. And I think he's realized that. Hence the new hire of Drastic Dave, who played an instrumental role in fixing the PR nightmare that Tesco got involved in.
I've just realised something about Dave, the man that Kate and Prince William note the word in are bringing into their team of personal advisors. Dave is the guy that recovered Tesco from the huge accounting scandal in 2014. This guy is an expert at recovering people from scandal, full stop. So in 2014, Tesco overstated profits by £326 million. As a company with shareholders, that is grade A fraud. Tesco brought Dave in, wait for it, many tabs open, from 2014 to recover from this scandal, and he turned the business around from 2014 to 2020. Why do William and Kate need to bring in a senior advisor who has direct experience of recovering from a massive PR scandal and fraud?
And in other news, King Charles is reportedly in discussions to visit Prince Harry and his kids in California. Why are we keep hearing about this? Is this something that's coming from the palace, or is this just another royal commentator trying to kick up a narrative? And honestly, I don't think Charles cares to see those children. If he did, he would have made the environment over in the UK safe so that Harry can bring the children over to see him, or if he wanted to visit them in the US, he could just do it without it being public knowledge. I'm so over these types of stories. And in other news, you guys remember Camilla Tominey, the one who brought us the Meghan made Kate cry lie, also wrote articles complaining about Meghan's Vogue cover not having enough Caucasian women. The one who wrote stories about Meghan eating avocado toast and somehow making that into a negative. I mean, she's had some pretty spectacularly bad hot takes when it comes to, well, not only Harry and Meghan, but in general. Just this May, she told us that Rishi Sunak is making an extraordinary comeback, only for that to be exposed as, well, a lie. The voters, the voters said, no. So this is just an example of Camilla doing what she does best, getting it spectacularly wrong.
Fact that he fits the criteria because he was a serving soldier and did 2 tours of Afghanistan.
Okay, y'all, listen. Please go back and watch that video. This man literally said that Harry fits the criteria for this award to a T. You can't take away his years of service. You can't take away the fact that he created Invictus, but Harry also shouldn't get the award. like make it make sense. And this man goes on to say that someone who's like lesser known should get this award because, you know, Harry has an organization behind him. No, Harry created Invictus. Harry didn't inherit Invictus. Harry didn't take over Invictus. He created Invictus from freaking scratch. He fits the criteria to receive this award, but he shouldn't receive this award because what? Reasons? Because someone lesser known needs to get the award? Now listen, I am not going to say that there's not other people that are not deserving of this award, because there are. But listen, this isn't something that's new, right? There's only so many people every year. Any type of organization that gives out awards can give these people. And there's a lot of people who don't end up getting awards that should. That is absolutely a reality. But like this narrative that because Harry is well known and that Harry is privileged, that somehow that should negate the work that he's done, the lives that he's changed, the lives that he's touched, that's a bunch of BS. This man saw a need, created something that has actually helped people. Not like his brother, okay? And all of this, I'm going to fix homelessness, I'm going to bring peace to the Middle East. What other nonsense this man has said that he hasn't done anything on. Harry literally created something, put his money where his mouth is, has created change, has helped lives. And you're like, listen, we saw you do all of that, but you're not deserving of it because, you know, people know who you are. Let's be for real. That's not what this is. Y'all have been telling people for years, even prior to Harry leaving like the British royal family, that he was stupid, that he was lesser than William, that he was a failure, a bumbling idiot that you guys just happened to all love. And then when Harry left, you told everybody he's going to fail, he's going to flop, he's going to come back home, he's going to come back with his tail tucked in between his legs. And Harry has only been up on an upward trajectory ever since he left that family, ever since he left the UK. So how do you keep trying to perpetuate a notion, right, that everybody hates Harry and that Harry is a failure when Harry is actively being like awarded by other countries, that he is getting these amazing welcomes when he shows up, welcomes that his family, as I said before, outside of his mama, we have never seen. Countries that have told William to his face, y'all gotta go. Listen, you ain't got to go home, but you gotta get up out of here. You got to go. And for them to just be smiling, happy to see Harry. Like, what you're upset about is that these are things you can't take away from Harry. No matter how much you kick, scream, throw up, no matter what type of temper tantrum you throw, there's nothing you can do about this. Because other people recognize the work that Harry has done. Other people recognize the type of person he is. And nobody gives a single solitary damn about what y'all think about an award that has nothing to do with you. This is an American award. He lives in America. Mind your business. Mind your working royals. Weren't y'all all excited about William like being on a scooter? Focus on that.
Oh, goodness, my heart bleeds for them. It must be a really tough life being a working member of the UK royal family. For the second consecutive day, Camilla, William, horse-drawn parade, literally having the life of Riley. UK taxpayers and the mugs that we are funding this circus when we have millions of children growing up in poverty in the UK and millions of working families who have to top up their income with benefits and are absolutely dreading a visit from the postman because it will just be yet another bill. 2024, we have to have a debate about whether the royal family is appropriate for 2024 and whether them attending multiple events like this and classing it as work is acceptable to the majority of the British working public and British taxpayers. For me, I've always been clear, I think it's time to have the debate. 2024 is the year to have that debate. I am not against people using their own hard-earned cash to spend on themselves to have a lovely day out. But seeing this for the second day on the run, it kind of sticks in my throat.
Meghan went outside. Had she not been? She wore a Beyonce tracksuit. In this heat? Why? Because she needs all the attention all the time. Duh. In this heat? I don't. Why is Meghan wearing a tracksuit? Because she needs all. Don't say attention. Fine, she was filming something. Filming what? It's probably just something for one of her failed Netflix shows. Oh, what do you know? We know that she was near celebrity-loved coffee shop Alfred's. It's Antler Starbucks? Really? But it's cool and hip. Oh, so you just put in her location and Googled coffee? How were we supposed to know they gave it such a fancy name? Oh, come on, it's cheaper than Starbucks. Oh my god, can we just get back to her wanting attention? Oh yeah, Meghan, she's so rich. Quarter mile away from a $7 latte. You know what? If you're not gonna take this seriously, I could really go for a nice matcha.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.